r/AskReddit by Redmond ETS. What's the most hilarious punishment you've ever heard of someone receiving in the military, and how did they end up in that absurd situation? A couple of guys hated wearing their cover hat, so they kept forgetting to put it on when going outside. Sergeant made them each wear the other guy's hand as cover for a few days. They looked so ridiculous and miserable walking around holding another man's bald head. So this guy was constantly late to everything. Never out of bed on time, never in formation when he was supposed to be, etc. The sergeants pulled a clock off the wall, attached a bike chain to it, and make it look like a big ass necklace. If you were a rap fan back in the day, you may know where this is going. They made the dude wear it like a Flavor Flav clock chain. They would constantly scream at him, "Flavor Flav, what time is it?" He learned to be on time real quick. Having to carry a plant to make up for the oxygen he was wasting. 1995. At mile 4 of an 12-mile hump, quick water break, my assistant gunner forgot the tripod for the M60. The platoon sergeant made him hug and apologize to every tree along his side of the road for wasting oxygen for the rest of the road march. 8 miles of this and no one could go past him. A road march that should have taken 3 hours ended up taking 12. There's a lot of trees at Fort Campbell. We had a guy who could just not get his shit together. We all know that troop. Even the easy things were hard, etc. etc. The cadre found out he was a former opera singer and also fluent in German. So they made him write and sing opera songs about his screw-ups. This was the only thing he was good at. Now here's where this gets hilarious, beyond one dude singing self-deprecating songs in a marching formation. The cadre would bark German style, and he'd seamlessly switch his lyrics to German. They'd yell, underwater style, and he'd take his index finger and flip it up and down on his lips as he sang, making the song sound bubbly. Not only could the cadre not hold it together, the guys in his company would absolutely lose it. Complete breakdown in military bearing and no one cared. Other cadre and instructors would come just to listen and they would be in tears laughing. I don't know where you are now, homeboy, but thanks for the laughs. In basic training, we went to the base store to only buy personal care items. One guy buys a bowling ball. Drill instructor makes him carry it everywhere. One Sunday during boot camp we were supposed to be cleaning the barracks, so naturally, nobody was doing anything. One of the guys in my platoon got up on one of the foot lockers and was squatting on top of it and started saying, "Yo, check it out, I'm a bird." At that moment we heard daddies as a drill sergeant walked in, gaze transfixed on this dude still squatting on top of the foot locker. Drill sergeant says to him, "Okay, you wanna be a bird, huh? Get down here." Dude hops off and the drill sergeant makes him run around the barracks squawking like a bird. Mid-flight the drill sergeant stops him and says, "Stop. Now lay an egg." So the dude promptly squats down and lets out the fattest fart I've heard in a long time. There was not a single soul in those barracks that wasn't dying. A million push-ups from everyone immediately followed. Trainee soldier, I don't know the exact term. He wasn't a cadet but like the level above it, but also not a proper soldier. On a yomp through the English countryside leveled his rifle at a sheep. It was dumb, but he was nowhere near stupid enough to actually shoot it. Someone further up the chain found out and made him write an apology letter to God for threatening one of his creations. Every sentence had to have a sheep-related pun, to keep it light. Mother sucker filled a whole sheet of A4, on his own, before the next morning. The sergeant told him he was wasting his talents in the army. He agreed, and dropped out a few weeks later. Apparently he's a writer at the BBC now. We were weighing out bags for deployment and one guy's bags were way overweight. He starts taking out essential gear and putting it to the side. One of our petty officers began inspecting his bags only to discover about 20 mini bottles of maple syrup. He was made to drink them while being mocked for trying to bring syrup instead of his gunsling. I'm an archaeologist that often works on military bases. Came across a large rock feature one day that spelled out, "I will not throw rocks," in small rocks. Gave us all a good laugh thinking about the soldier who was probably reamed for throwing rocks and then made to spell this out with rocks. I had to tan rocks. Lay them out and flip them every 15 minutes to make sure they got an even tan. Rocks don't tan. We had a tradition when you were new to the unit and went on our first summer exercise, National Guard, that you would need to carry a rock around with you. It was an inspectable item, so it needed to be with you at all times. You were not to let anyone else have this rock. The trick was if you lost the rock, you'd get another rock chosen by the platoon sergeant. One guy had a hard time with the "don't give this to anyone else" and kept losing his rock. After the 4th or 5th time, the platoon sergeant gave him what I can only describe as a small boulder. This kid had to lug that rock around for the next week, but he made damn sure not to lose it. Guy kept losing his ID or leaving it sitting in the computer. Chief borrowed it, took it to one of those 1-hour print job places, had it blown up to like 3 feet across, cut a picture out, and made the idiot walk around all day holding his enormous ID up with his face in the cutout hole. He stopped misplacing his ID after that. It was pouring rain one day during boot camp, so we were inside cleaning the squad bay. I don't remember what this guy did to piss off the drill instructor, but the drill instructor told him to grab a mop and mop up all the water on the sidewalk. In the rain. Poor guy was out there mopping the sidewalk for a few hours in the pouring rain. I've seen people cutting grass with a pair of scissors and counting how many individual stones there were outside the guard room. While serving in World War II, my grandpa was put on potato peeling duty for a week because he snuck off base to go drinking with a bunch of women. I've seen his album of pictures and he's got a different lady on his arm in every pic. That's all, folks. Thank you for watching. If you like videos like this one, why not like and subscribe for more? Have a nice evening.